Hi everyone, I'm Shivi and you are watching The Code Kit. Have you ever watched a coding video and suddenly heard words like algorithm, variable, function, compiler, syntax, etc. and thought, wait, what does that even mean? Don't worry, every programmer feels confused by these terms when they are just starting out. In this video, I'm going to explain the 15 most important programming terms every beginner should know. And don't worry, I'm not going to use complicated definitions. Instead, I'll explain every term with simple real-life examples. So, by the end of this video, coding tutorials are going to make a lot more sense. Let's get started. The first one is program. What is a program? A program is simply a set of instructions that tells a computer what to do. Let's see a real-life example. Think about a recipe. A recipe tells a chef step by step how to cook a dish. In exactly the same way, a program tells a computer what actions it needs to perform. The second term is programming. Programming is the complete process of solving a problem using a computer. It includes planning the solution, writing the code, testing it, and fixing the mistakes. For example, imagine you are building a house. First, you plan everything. Then you draw the blueprint, buy the materials, build the house, and finally, make sure everything works properly. That entire process is what programming is. The third term is coding. Coding simply means writing instructions using a programming language. For example, let's continue with the same house example. Programming is designing the whole house. Coding is actually laying the bricks. The fourth term is programming language. So what is a programming language? A programming language is the language we use to communicate with computers. Some programming languages are Python, Java, C++, and JavaScript, and many more. For example, different countries have different spoken languages. In the same way, programmers use different programming languages depending on what they want to build. The fifth one is variable. A variable is simply a container that stores information. For example, think of a reusable water bottle. Today it might contain water. Tomorrow you might wash it and fill it with juice. The bottle stays the same, only what's inside changes. That's exactly how a variable works. The next one is data type. A data type tells the computer what kind of information is stored inside a variable. For example, it could be a number, some text, or a true or false value. For example, imagine kitchen containers. One stores sugar, another stores rice, another stores salt. Each container is meant for a different type of item. That's exactly what a data type does. Next one is functions. A function is a reusable block of code that performs one specific task. For example, think about a washing machine. You press one button and it automatically fills with water, washes the clothes, rinses them, and spins them. You don't have to control every single step. A function works the same way. Next one is algorithm. An algorithm is simply a step-by-step method for solving a problem. For example, think about Google Maps. It doesn't magically know the best route. It follows a series of steps to calculate the shortest or fastest path. That's an algorithm. The next term is syntax. Syntax simply means the rules for writing code correctly. For example, think about English grammar. This is a book. That's correct. Book this is. That's not correct. Programming languages have grammar rules too. Those rules are called syntax. Next term is compiler. A compiler is a tool that translates your entire program into machine language before running it. For example, imagine translating an entire English book into Hindi before anyone starts reading it. That's basically what a compiler does. The next term is interpreter. An interpreter translates and executes your code one line at a time. For example, imagine a translator standing beside someone during a conversation. As soon as one sentence is spoken, it's translated immediately. That's how an interpreter works. The next term is bug. A bug is simply an error that makes your program behave in an unexpected way. For example, imagine ordering pizza, but when your order arrives, you get burgers instead. Something clearly went wrong. That's a bug. The next term is debugging. Debugging means finding and fixing those bugs. For example, imagine your TV remote suddenly stops working. You check the batteries, clean the contacts, press the buttons a few times, and eventually it starts working again. That whole process is called debugging. The next term is IDE. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. It is software that helps programmers write, manage, and run their codes all in one place. Some popular IDEs are VS Code, PyCharm, and IntelliJ. For example, think about a fully equipped kitchen. Everything you need is already there. The stove, the utensil, the ingredients, everything, and IDE is like that for programmers. The next term is output. Output is simply the final result produced by a program. For example, you enter some numbers into a calculator, press the equals button, and answers you see on the screen. That's the output. So today you learned the 15 programming terms every beginner should know. Now the next time you watch a coding tutorial, you will actually understand what people are talking about instead of feeling completely lost. In the next video, we'll learn another important programming concept from absolute zero. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe and join the Code Kit because here we are learning coding from absolute zero, one concept at a time.